All right, we're waiting for George to get in. Dennis is missing. What was his excuse again, Owen?
He just is missing in general. No one's heard from him in not years, weeks. So I don't know where Dennis is.
Okay,
he said he was going on vacation. Then
that was so confusing.
Then it seemed like Lisa was gone on vacation. Then I just had no clue what was going on from him. He stopped responding. He never responds on the weekend. If you want to get in touch with Dennis on the weekend, it's not going to happen. So I had no clue what was going on with him.
Just getting in touch with Dennis in general is hard. You really have to like pick a topic that's going to catch his interest. Like there's like a few hashtags you have to use. Like it has to be about it has to be like about From on MGM Plus or like
that's true.
MJ Lenderman. Like you need to catch his attention with some buzzword.
How do I move myself to the center? How do I
you have to be a better
to the left the whole time?
You have to be a better speaker. You have to be the center of attention. All right. So George, I just want to quickly talk about the Oscar movies, which I've seen a nice handful of now. So George, you don't even know what's up for Oscars this year.
Not totally, no.
What if you had to guess 3 movies other than Dune 2?
Dune 2, Wicked, and Amelia Perez.
Oh God. Okay. So 2 of the worst movies that are being nominated and an actual good movie. But those are the hot ones that most people I feel like are talking about.
Yeah, the other ones you're missing are Brutalist with Adrian Brody. Then there's, I'm trying to do this off the top of my head, Nickel Boys.
Yeah, Conclave, A Complete Unknown, I'm Still Here, The Substance, and Anora.
So these aren't just the best pictures. Are these the best pictures? Are these just kind of like
That's Best Picture awards. Yeah.
And then there's a few more buzzy ones, like A Real Pain is going to win a few things for acting or something along that line. But
yeah, never mind. So, I was thinking that was on there and I'd missed it, but it's not. It shouldn't be. But
yeah, I wouldn't say that was anything spectacular from a movie cinematic standpoint. But I thought I did. I'll just start with that. Like I did enjoy that movie. That was right up my alley. George, what do you know about A Real Pain?
Nothing.
Okay. Do you know Jesse Eisenberg?
I'm familiar. Zuckerberg.
Yes. Yes. And Macaulay Culkin's brother, Kieran Culkin.
I know Kieran.
Which now it's almost going to be Macaulay Culkin is Kieran Culkin's brother. Like the other way around. Because Kieran is outlasting him in, I don't know, I guess being a celebrity because Macaulay Culkin.
I disagree, Owen. I disagree. I think he's having a moment. But the Macaulay Culkin's movie is so timeless that it would be like saying, like, who's the most famous, like, Christmas song singer? Like, Bing Crosby?
Mariah Carey.
It would be like Bing Crosby, White Christmas. I like yours, George, too. But it would be like, people are always going to know that Bing Crosby, White Christmas song until the end of time. But, like, imagine Bo Crosby, his brother, had, like, a really good, like... jazz song that came out like a few years after and everybody was talking about it and then he had like a few things but like nothing he ever does is going to be as timeless as but in his defense he was also in Home Alone so
yeah that is true he also drank the Diet Pepsi and he's going to pee his pants in Home Alone.
Yeah, that movie is just kind of boring, George. It's one of those like, hey, we're walking and talking a lot and the only thing redeeming qualities of it I would say it's set in Poland and it's them walking around like modern times like Holocaust area. And it's like visually kind of pleasing and there's some like nice classical music playing in the background a lot. Very pleasant movie. Just made me laugh a few times, but I wouldn't go out of your way to watch it. Oh, and guessing you didn't like it?
It was okay. I think that I don't like Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg's a terrible actor.
Yeah, he's more of a writer now. It seems like he's really lean. He's got books. Yeah.
Okay, George has a take that he's clapping his little fingertips together. Come on, what do you have to say, Professor? I feel like George thinks that was rage bait, but that's just my thought. I genuinely believe that
anymore.
No, and that's just always been me. I don't like specific things, and I have hard opinions. They're either it's amazing or it's awful.
I like the new angle. I think the new angle is fun.
It's fun, but no, it's getting to our heads because if you're not following the pod, we had our most recent semi-viral post talking about Kendrick Lamar's height. I don't know if I've talked about this on pod already, but it's still going. And every day we get probably 12 to 15 comments just calling calling me. Yeah, I would say the adjectives are gay, stupid, ugly, bald. White is a big one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hateful people out there, and it's taking a lot of thick skin for me to not delete
I
this.
can't handle 5 of the exact same comments over and over again. It's just like they're beating it into me. I'm like, oh fuck, maybe they're right. And
it gets so many more comments than it does likes, but that's okay. Let's get back to
this is high pressure. I haven't been on since you guys have become such a high profile pod. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
They'll love you, George.
Oh yeah,
you got a lot of hair, so you're in good shape. I haven't stopped wearing a hat on pod since the first time that they started calling out our hair problem. So it's like I was about to walk in without a hat. I was like, oh, can't forget that. That's part of the uniform now. So I always have a hat on. Dennis, I guarantee he's going to start wearing a hat.
He needs to start wearing that headband. That headband covered up everything perfectly.
His hairline is perfect. He needs to not worry about it. So
I'm telling you, it's just they see the bald guy, me, and then they just start looking at everybody's hair. Honora, George, this is the movie I think you're going to like the most from the list.
Tell me more.
Do you know any? Okay. Oh my God, you're not a movie guy. I'll sell you. Basically, we're just going to try to sell you on all these movies. Honora is from the same guy who did Red Rocket, that Simon Rex movie, which you probably didn't see. And then The Florida Project, that movie about Orlando.
Okay.
Have you heard of either of those?
Yeah, I've heard of Red Rocket because of the pod.
Yeah. It's a really, and Honora is just basically like a modern Cinderella story and how it would actually play out set in Brooklyn. So like Russian stripper living in Brooklyn, a Russian American stripper living in Brooklyn, from Brooklyn, low income, gets a chance to like Mikey Madison.
It's a girl, Mikey. That's her name.
I don't know anybody else in the movie. Bunch of no names.
One of those no names is up for an Oscar too, the supporting actor. But go on.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yori.
Oh, the guy who looks like me, the bald guy.
Yeah, I really hope he wins. We'll get into
he was
a little
great,
bit more.
He was great. He was funny. But George, it's basically like a modern retelling of Cinderella and how it'd actually play out if like a poor girl got engaged quickly to a famous Russian rich person. So
like it's billionaire.
I like
billionaire.
It. I'll never see it, but I like it.
Yeah, you heard enough. You heard enough.
That's George's favorite movie of the year so far, just by Kevin's explanation.
It'll be Kevin, in my 2025 picks of the year for sure.
Kevin, I like your explanation. A modern day Cinderella movie.
Yeah, I stole that, but what I added onto was like Cinderella kind of ends with like a happy love story. This is like, okay, this is what would really happen if Cinderella married a prince. Like it just wouldn't work out quite as beautiful as you'd think. Other movies I don't want to talk about Dune 2. Owen loves it. Nickel Boys.
I've seen Dune 2. No notes.
Kevin doesn't want to talk about it though.
There's nothing to talk about. It's a movie you have to see. It's a visual
and it's
movie.
Been out. I think it's been out for too long for us to really dive into giving any thought about it. But it was a great movie, and I just don't think it's gonna win though. There's too many other. It should win some Oscars for like costume and some other shit, or scenery, cinematography. I think that those are good ones, but you don't need to get into it for best movie.
All right. Let's keep moving. All right, the other Timothée Chalamet movie, which I have not seen.
I want to see it so fucking bad, but it's not streaming on the Beep website.
Movie.2.
Beep beep beep. Don't dox the website so it doesn't get shut down. Dennis pays hard-earned money on that monthly. He gave his credit card to some random movie website that he pays a subscription to. I was like, who are you giving your credit card information to? So if he gets anything stolen from him,
maybe I'd watch some more movies if I had this link.
We'll give you the link off pod.
Give me the link off pod. Yeah.
Dennis literally got pissed at Kevin because he thought that we were responsible for shutting the website down because we had a TikTok post that maybe had less than 1,000 views, and he's like, Kevin, I'm pissed for real.
Only because he paid for it.
I was like, dude, it goes down every once in a while. It'll be back up, and it was a day later. It's back. But a complete unknown isn't on it. The Brutalist is on that website, but it's all like the beginning of that movie is in Hungarian, and they don't have closed captions for that. At least I couldn't get them to work.
Okay. Well, and let's go to the Brutalist. The complete unknown is that Bob Dylan movie. I can guess exactly what it is. I'm sure it's fine.
I'm familiar with that. That's the one he thinks he should win the Oscar for, right?
Yes. I didn't know he said that. Did he say that?
I think he's pretty much coming out here and saying it. It's like, it's 5 years of my life.
That's annoying. He probably will win because they always give it to a famous historical figure. Because it's like, I've heard this before, like, because when somebody's playing somebody else, you have a point of reference for how well they did. But if somebody's playing a fake character, like, say, Paul Atreides from Dune, like, who knows how well they did? Like, it could have been the worst performance. It's basically the best impression award.
Yeah.
Okay, but Brutalist. I saw this movie the way it's intended to be seen. I've seen it now in 20-minute snippets. I know it's a 3.5-hour movie. I've seen like 3 or 4 20-minute snippets, all completely out of order. But I will say, Adrian Brody, he is a prime example of I don't know if he's a good actor. He just has a weird face. But he looks like he's doing the best acting I've ever seen in my life, just because his face is so expressive. So shout out to him.
He had the best performance I've ever seen in a movie.
Which one?
The Pianist.
Oh, Megan was just talking about that. She said it was the most disturbing movie she's ever seen, or something like that. Or the most disturbing World War II movie she's ever seen.
Most moving movie I've ever seen, and it was like I watched it at my most immature stage of life. I was like 19 or 20, and like I remember it really moved me.
Wow.
How, when you're in your immature life, the word or the title, did it make you laugh back then?
It still makes me laugh.
It does. It does. That's the only reason I know the movie, because of how much it made me laugh. I'd never seen it.
Jack told me a pianist joke one time, but he didn't say pianist right. He called it a pianist. And I'm like, that doesn't really add to the joke. I was like, I get what you're trying to make a penis joke, but you're saying pianist. And so...
bust.
Yeah, but it is a very funny joke, but didn't nail the punchline.
Okay, but Brutalist, I from what I've seen, it's a great movie. It's probably my favorite visual movie. It's A24. The opening credits are super cool. Like, just like the stills you've seen from the movie, like where he's smoking the cigarette and the blacksmith ashes are like flying in his face. They're just so many cool moments like that. So
I got through like the first 10 minutes while I was trying to fuck around trying to get the captions to work, but I didn't get to see it. How did you watch it? On the website?
Paid for it.
Oh, the $20.
Yeah, Megan had a bunch of like Prime. You know how Prime you can select like deliver it a day later, give me $1 off my next digital order.
Yeah.
It turns out if you do that a bunch of times, they start to add up, and next thing you know, you have $19 worth of digital orders.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to pay for that one just because I plan on watching, just like I did last year, watch all the best pictures. So I have 3 left to do, and I was hoping to watch them before the podcast to go over them.
What are the other 3?
I have to watch A Complete Unknown, I'm Still Here, Wicked, and Brutalist. So 4.
Wicked is exactly what you'd expect.
Yeah,
I got through it. It was better than I thought. I walked away thinking like I got some heat for calling her green, but Cynthia Erivo, the other actress, she's really, really talented. So it's worth it alone for seeing her sing. But
yeah, it's not a bad soundtrack. I know the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Does Kim listen to it, or do you just pop it on?
No,
someone at work do it?
I'm cultured. I've been to the theater and I've seen it. I haven't seen the movie though.
Oh, so you've known these songs are the same songs as they've been forever. So it's same movie, nothing new.
But from what I understand, in part 2, I think they're going to have some originals, because I think they burned through a lot of the...
Hold on. Part 2? There's going to be a Wicked 2?
Dune 2. They had a 3-hour first part 1 or something like that, and then the year later they're doing a part 2.
Oh my god. I'm so sad.
It's fine. It's not I know you don't like musicals.
I'm just sick of seeing Cynthia. I'm sick of seeing what's left of Ariana Grande. I can't see them carting her around. I feel bad for her. I think she definitely needs to go get some help. My theory, not theory, maybe it's a theory. I don't think she's going to show up to the Oscars. she's been catching a lot of heat on Twitter lately about her being either anorexic or bulimic.
Oh.
So I feel like if she's anything like us, we can't handle the heat that we get on the internet.
Well, the best thing she could do is gain a little bit of weight and show up.
The meanest thing I saw online is someone retweeted a picture of her and it said she looks so fat. I was like, that is the meanest thing I've ever seen. Because if she sees that, it's over.
Okay, Owen, what other movies were on the list?
We didn't go over Emilia Perez.
Oh, way better than I thought. Emilia Perez.
Can I get a nice little take on Emilia Perez?
Sure.
I 100% agree with you, Kevin. I was expecting this to be a 1 out of 10 or a 0 out of 10. And after watching it, I got into the story, but the movie is so fucking I don't get why it's a musical.
Yeah.
It was better than I thought, but I really hated that movie. And I really think that it shouldn't exist.
George, what do you know about Emilia Perez?
I had a better take on it, but I can't get it out.
I know that it's a musical and about, I believe, the transgender community.
So that's where I'll.
That's where you're wrong.
Yeah, it's actually it's a musical. Well, kind of a musical, like a movie with musical elements, and it's
a musical. There's music. There's so many songs in it and dancing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's I would not say it's necessarily a woke movie. I wouldn't say it's like pro like transgender. I would argue it's more because Georgia, the plot is basically like how like if a Mexican cartel leader decides he wants to become a woman, and as far as I'm aware, it was just because he wanted to start a new life, like start fresh. Like it wasn't like he like wanted to embrace like his true self. It was more just like, hey, like I'm sick of my fucking family. I'm sick of being this guy. Like, I want to just start a new life. And then it's really like, it's almost like a parody of it. Like, because the guy's just kind of like too rich and he just doesn't know what he wants. And he just wants to start. That's what I'd say. It's like not necessarily just like, you go, girl. It's more like,
Wow.
I thought it was, yeah.
I don't think that's
I feel
that was my take
ignorant.
on it.
I feel like my take was formed by what the internet fed me, my algorithm's feeding me that it's polarizing because it's about the transgender community.
So no, it's polarizing because the transgender community and Mexicans hate the movie because they say it's not a good, like they could have made so many different transgender movies and the Mexican people hate it because it's saying that, oh, you're shedding the light on cartels, which has been bad for our country for years, and that's what the whole movie is about. And it's a French movie, and it's made by a French guy.
Wow,
Jacques. Me too. Imagine watching it. It's worse. I thought of this one saying,
Wait, I'm sorry,
ever heard?
Owen, did you say Selena Gomez?
Yeah, she's in it.
Oh, might be a little bit back end.
No,
she does not look good. Yeah.
There is this saying there. It says, knowledge is knowing tomato is a fruit, and wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. I feel like the Oscars, there's a parallel between these two, is that it's 2025. You know that you have to have a trans movie in the Oscars. That's the knowledge part. But the wisdom is to not have a Mexican cartel transgender musical be the pick that you decide to be the top movie pick.
I stand by my take. It's a parody. It is not a woke movie. I swear to God, they're making fun of the American dream. That's why Europeans love it, because it's all just about like, hey, like I need a restart. I swear. I stand by my take. It's a parody. George, go.
Oh, and what you just said, was that an original take?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Like you came up
was
with
it? Oh.
You came up with like that quote and then made the
tomato part is an actual saying.
No, yeah, I know that saying, but you came up with the second part.
Yeah.
Well done. It's out there.
Thank you.
We got a few more to knock out. Okay, George.
I was nervous about saying it. I said I had a better take, and that was the take. And I was like, you can't say this shit, Owen.
It was great. It was great. Okay, George, you'll love Conclave. It's about Catholicism. It's like a 2-hour movie just dramatizing like what it's like to elect a new pope. It's actually kind of funny at times.
Also almost a transgender movie.
Yeah,
too,
that's true. That's a big spoil. That's a big spoil.
Which is crazy.
That's a
George
big spoil.
Are you gonna watch that movie?
I do feel like it's on like Peacock or one of my streaming services.
It's a good movie. I really did not like the ending. I thought it was like so far-fetched, but Pope right now, this is going to be, I feel like they released this at a good time because the Pope is not doing too hot. He's been in critical condition.
Sorry to hear that.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I can transition that. Since the Pope is barely still here, the other movie on the list is I'm Still Here. I don't know anything about it, never seen it. I'll watch it eventually.
Are we still on the Oscars?
We're almost done. We're almost done. I'm trying to get through it.
I'm excited to watch that movie, but another one that I can't watch on the website because it's in Spanish, I believe.
Okay, The Substance. You know everything about that movie. Okay, is that enough Oscar stuff?
Not gonna win, but it should win for best makeup.
Okay,
Kevin, you don't need to keep rushing. We got through the Oscars.
No, we haven't talked about Echoes of the Fallen.
That's not an Oscar movie. I'm not getting stuck again this time. They tricked me last year with a fake movie because I got to watch every Oscars movie before the Oscars, and I made it in like record time. And then Dennis came up with a fake movie.
Who are you talking to? Like, I'm not listening.
Oh, yeah, our one listener is on the pod. Thank you for listening, George.
Yeah, man.
All right, what other movies did I forget?
I think you nailed all of them. So we got Brutalist, Anora, Wicked, Dune, The Substance, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, you didn't go over, which is about this school in the South that was like a school.
Can I take a stab at this one?
Yeah, go for it.
Nickel Boys is about a group of boys who carry nickels.
That's crazy you would think that, but...
Am I close?
You are 100% wrong.
Ah, damn.
So it's like a reform school for kids that are bad, but it was in the 60s. So there's people that are getting locked up that shouldn't be locked up for doing nothing wrong, but because they were just black people in the wrong place at the wrong time. So there's a separate school. It was a black and white school that they separated, and there's a lot of abuse that went on there, a lot of like murders and so the school was open up until like 2011, and then it went through a whole bunch of stuff, and they're uncovering bodies still to this day that was like on the property, like hundreds of kids that were killed there.
Just for the clip, tell us how.
No, it's a fictional. It's a real school, but it's like a fictional story of two kids that, from their point, it's the most annoying video. I hate how it was taped because it's from their point of view, and it'll switch off between the two. And I'd be like, this movie would be great if it was just a normal movie. I just did not like the POV.
Just for clip, just for the rage bait. Owen, tell us why you hated Nickel Boys.
Oh no, I didn't hate Nickel Boys. It was relatively boring, I'd say, but I really loved the end because it was like there's some artistic part. The music, the score on it was really nice to listen to, but it is a very, very boring movie.
I believe it. I don't like movies that are like historical pieces that are just like, look at how nice the set design is. Look at how like good the costumes are. Yeah.
It's different.
They've captured the 50s. I don't like those.
You should watch it though, because I mean, you should watch all.
I will. Is that everything?
That is everything. So with that list, Kevin, who do you have coming in as Best Picture?
I truly don't know. I would. I think it's going to be Anora.
I think so too. Anora or The Brutalist, and I think The Brutalist won't get it because of the use of AI for his voice.
It checks a lot of boxes. Anora, it's original, it's cultural, it has a lot of good boxes.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm same boat. I think Anora is going to win. Anora, then Brutalist. After that, God, I really don't know what else would be up there. If Emilia Perez wins, I'm gonna.
I don't think
myself.
I can at this point.
Yeah,
George, based on our takes, who do you think is going to win, or what movie do you think is going to win Best Picture?
I'm going to go with Nickel Boys.
I like the pick. I think
it reminds me of the pianist and like the boy in the striped pajama. Like those movies win.
Green Book.
Bananas in Pajamas. It reminds you
the boy in striped pajamas.
Show.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
You've never seen...
No, I know Bananas in Pajamas. I don't know what pajamas you're talking about, George.
Wasn't there like an Oscar movie that won? Or I don't know if it won, but it was like nominated about like a child like on one side of an Auschwitz fence and another child on the other side.
I have seen this.
Became friends and they switched and they.
Funny enough, the kid from the boy in striped pajamas is wearing the same type of pajamas that the Bananas in Pajamas wear.
What's Bananas in Pajamas? This is a cable show or something?
I think so.
Yes. Bananas in Pajamas. They're walking down the stairs. No, I think this was on. I think this was network television. I swear, Bananas in Pajamas. Okay.
Did it come on before or after Big Comfy Couch?
It was like the same network. I swear.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're talking about little boys, so I have a perfect X transition. On my Instagram algorithm, nonstop, is the Maryland FoodieBoyz, and I cannot get enough of these guys. Are you familiar with them, Owen and George?
Yeah,
I'm familiar.
Let me explain with two sentences. The FoodieBoyz are these like 13-year-old boys from Maryland, just basically doing what we're doing. Just talking about food. And I won't get into why it's so funny, but I described to Megan like why the Maryland FoodieBoyz was so funny, and she's like, that just sounds like your podcast. And it crushed my soul.
The thing Kevin. is they are wildly popular and we are not.
Kevin, Owen, can I ask you guys a question though? When you eat pizza, do you get like toppings?
Oh, toppings are good.
Oh, this is a foodie boy take.
Yeah, I sometimes I get them and I like them.
Okay.
Like pepperoni is one. Pepperoni's fire.
Yeah, pepperoni. That's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Pepperoni's fire.
Pepperoni's fire.
You know what? I'm pretty dank.
I've never eaten a carrot.
George, great transition or great example, because that's what the FoodieBoyz are. It's just like these 13-year-old boys just giving their takes on food, but they don't have any opinion or perspective or point of view. They just will be like, they'll be like, hey, what do you guys think about ice cream? And one will be like, vanilla, dude. Vanilla's lit.
I have two nephews in this age bracket, and that is what it's like talking to them.
It's so funny. So why it's taken on another level though is because now in the comments people have like really latched on to like just how like dumb their podcast is, and they all have nicknames for them. There's Chub Perm, McLovin, No Name.
Chub Perm. I obviously know exactly who that one was.
It's a chubby little boy with like curly hair.
Yeah.
And then I think the other one is like Bad Take or like No Take. And so like every top comment will just be like, oh, McLovin, this is a classic show of alpha. He is finding his way to the top of the conversation by undercutting Chub Perm. Way to go, McLovin. Love your take on celery. They're like so good. I love it. That's all I got of the FoodieBoyz. And you guys got anything more?
I do like that you asked the whole bachelor party group chat if anyone's into the MDFoodieBoyz.
They're all from Maryland.
No response.
They're all from Maryland.
I know. Crickets. Not a single person responded to you.
We must have a very specific algorithm that nobody else is.
Everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I thought that would be like all over Maryland. Like that defines their state. That was probably them 4 years ago. Or not 4 years ago, 14 years ago. Oh, dude, so funny. Other internet shit I want to talk about. Owen, you have some interesting topics today, and I don't know what they are.
I felt like I gave good descriptions this time. Can
I read them? Can I read the three? And we'll let the people be the judge. Okay, Owen's topics today are eating too much peanut butter.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Been there.
Topic number 2. How much do you want for a plane crash? Number 3. check in with Justin Bieber.
Well, which one do you want first?
I want to know what about eating too much peanut butter, like the Foodie Boys. Okay.
So, do you guys eat too much, like of one thing?
We are the Foodie Boys.
Shit, maybe this is just some kind. That was so good, George.
We are the Foodie Boys. Fuck.
Oh God. These are always the funniest in the podcast because you don't hear anything, but it always sounds like I'm crying.
Oh my God.
But I was just laughing. So I eat a substantial amount of peanut butter throughout the week. Like that's my guilty snack. So Kevin, you drink probably a lot of like Diet Cokes.
Yes. And that's trail mix is my guilty snack.
Trail mix. Okay, George, what are you eating the most of?
All of it.
Not a specific item.
I got like a rotation.
Okay.
I'm the snacks king. You know that.
He's the snacks king. Tell him this. Tell him the trick, George.
You got to have the salty and the sweet.
Yeah. Oh, I know this.
That's why I like trail mix.
Yeah, that is good. So this actually peanut butter has salty and sweet, I think, in between both of those. So that's a good point. But I go through so much that I get the big tub from Amazon. That's I don't know how, or not Amazon, Costco. Mm-hmm. But I didn't notice how much I was eating until I had to order the 1 jar from Amazon of it's this size, the 16 ounce of Adam's 100% natural peanut butter. And me and Sarah were in bed last night, and I was talking about how we needed to order more peanut butter because we're out of peanut butter. And she said,
romantic.
I ordered that. We ordered that on Sunday, and it's Friday. We're out of peanut butter. And Buddy and Jack in the other room, they could hear us through the walls. I just started like cracking up because I was getting in trouble for eating too much peanut butter throughout the week. So I looked at the jar, and it's 1 pound or 16 ounces. I eat that much in one full week.
Look, I can relate to this. I can relate. And you mentioned sodas earlier. There is a shelf on my fridge that's dedicated to guests. Like it's like the top shelf. Like George.
Oh, wait, Jack, come here.
You heard his name.
1 pound a week is completely healthy.
I agree.
So it's they agree.
Yeah, that's not bad. Better than other things you can eat. Thanks, Jack. Ask him if he knows the Foodie Boys.
He's gone.
Okay. There's a shelf in my fridge that's specifically dedicated to guests. George was just here. Like, he was a prime example of when we'd use it. Like, hey, George, go in the fridge. You want anything to drink? There's like a row of Cokes. There's a row of seltzers. There's a row of like a different flavor of seltzer, like a row of like bottled waters. And I crack into those all the time, this guest shelf, to the point where there's nothing left. And Megan has to just scold me and like yell at me for like 10 minutes. She'd be like, you did not touch the guest shelf. That's for guests. And I just had to be like, when's the last time we had a guest, Megan? I'm the guest. I'll place it, but I'll get it. I'll refill it before a next guest comes. I can't help myself.
Well, that's similar. So the guests for us are 2 boys that live in this house, and I'm eating all of their food.
I didn't realize that. Like, you need like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch, and
yeah,
that jar of peanut butter you had didn't look that big.
1 pound, 16 ounces. So
I can relate to both of you because I'm already getting yelled at for late night snacking for the kids that we don't have, and how is she going to pack lunches when we have kids? When she goes to pack the lunch and all the snacks are gone because Dad was high.
That was a nice little twist at the end.
Well, it will happen, and you will eat too much of the snacks, and you will always get in trouble for it. I always eat too much of the things. I'm like, there was a lot of them, so I ate one. It's like I didn't even think you'd notice.
Okay, well,
Costco shopping. You think you can have? Oh, I'll just have a couple. They'll never notice. It's so big, and all of a sudden,
it's gone.
That's why I always say, like, I always go into a gas station every morning, and I'll buy like 2 16-ounce Coke Zeros or Diet Dr. Peppers or Dr. Pepper Zeros. And I tell people I do this all the time. Like, why don't you just go to Costco and buy a 16 rack of them? And I'm like, look, I can't have that many in the fridge. They'll be gone in 6 hours. Like, I need that barrier. I can't.
You need the governor.
Yeah, I need something in between me and those drinks because I don't know why. But George, speaking of all your snack intake, you recently got a physical.
I did get a physical. So with a new doctor, now that I've moved to Cincinnati, I got a new doctor. And it was interesting. About 5 years ago, I decided that, okay, I'm going to get serious about physicals, dentists every 6 months, things like that. So 5 years ago, when I went to my doctor then in California at UCLA, they did something that I'd never experienced before in a physical because it's been like 5-7 years since I last had a physical. And they asked if I wanted to have a chaperone in the room with me. And I said, so I said to myself, like, why the heck would I want someone else here for like be checking out like every inch of my body, seeing everything that's gross and disgusting. So I'm like, no, thank you. My doctor came, he gave me a physical, but like I thought it was strange because it was like the first time I've ever gotten a physical as a grown up and didn't like get a hernia check. And so I talked to my one friend who's a doctor. He's like, yeah, usually like grown men, like there's something wrong, they'll bring it up in a physical, especially down there. And so like they'll kind of skip, the hernia checks when you're a grown man in physicals. So
I didn't know
do you guys get physicals? Do you guys?
Good to know, George. This is probably the most timely thing because my physical is scheduled tomorrow at 3:20 p.m.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and like you, I got serious about my health like 2 years ago, where it's like I pay for all this insurance. I'm going to the dentist twice a year. I'm going to do my physicals. So I am. If he decides to touch my balls tomorrow, I'm gonna be like, "Whoa, man! I didn't bring up anything bad down there. Why are you doing that?"
Do I need a chaperone next time?
I might be like, where is the chaperone? I was never offered one.
Wait. So fast forward to physical last week with new doctor. So doesn't ask me if I want a chaperone. Thought that was strange. I'm like, what's going to happen in here? And so, nice guy.
That's a good stand-up bit. You need to keep that one in your back pocket.
But overall, nice guy, with decent conversation. But he did do this one thing that I found kind of weird. He made a couple of just like comments to himself as he was like checking me out. So like he's like doing the breath thing in the back with the stethoscope, and he goes, "You have some pimples." But not to me. He's just like, some pimples. Like about the pimples on my back, and then instead of like a hernia check, like he put his like fingers in my lower abdomen and had me cough, but then he pulled out my underwear and he goes, circumcised.
No way.
What? Did he really?
But I think it was like part of the physical. I think he was like, getting to know me.
Getting to know you really well. I feel like the pushing on the stomach lower abdomen is a little more intrusive than him just doing the turn your head and cough. It feels too intimate. It
almost feels like he's working towards something. Like there's a little bit of foreplay.
Yeah, what are you doing here? Just get to it.
Yeah, like we're not making love here.
Give me a kiss and get to it.
You guys are really making me think I needed a chaperone in there.
Next time he's going to ask you if you need to have your prostate checked.
No, not till 45. But Owen, I want to know how your physical goes, and kudos to you for getting one. Kevin, what's your physical situation?
Yeah.
I was actually going to use this as a transition because what are those called? Interventions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not go to the doctor, and I really need to.
Get to the doctor.
I will say,
yeah,
I am excited to see, because I don't drink during the week anymore, and I haven't all January, February. And last year, my one cholesterol was high, which is like hereditary, they say, but
me too.
Drinking normally adds to that. So I'm very curious if I'm actually seeing any health benefits for not drinking as much. But I don't know. Yes, George.
Can I get to my main point on my physical, which is since I was a new patient, they measured and weighed me.
Oh yeah. What's the stats? So
my whole adult life, I've been measured at a certain height. But it's a height that I think is the worst height to be for a man, and I'll get into why. I measured at 5'10", but she goes, "I'm going to take an inch off for your shoes." So 5'9", and actually it was 5'8.9", so 69 or 68.9 inches. So like 5'8" and 9/10 or whatever. And so my whole adult life, I've been measured at like 5'8" and 7/8 or up to like 5'9" and 1/4. So I've always said I'm 5'9", but that's like the height that short guys use to like say they're not short, because I think 5'9" to 6 foot's like the average height, and then like above 6 foot you're taller. And it's also the height that tall girls use who don't want to be tall, and so they say they're 5'9". So I think it's the worst height to be out there.
So did they measure you at 5'9" or were you 5'10"?
I was 5'10" with shoes, but they took an inch off. She goes, "I'm gonna take an inch off." Like I saw it was almost 70 inches.
That's not a real height check. You're 5'10", George. Don't let them take your shoe height from you.
I know I'm not 5'10".
I've been 5'9" the last couple years. Last year I was 5'10". I was like, thank God. Yeah. So I think that we just had some faulty doctors before that. I think I'm 5'10".
George, I think what you're saying though is that you're like a perfectly average human height. Like the tall girls want to be you, the short guys want to be you. Like it's just right in that human average, which if you're a male isn't ideal, but
well, yeah, not ideal for a male, but it is worked out because one of my best bits is going back to back. Never learned on going back to back.
Yeah,
take that with a grain of salt. Come from a guy who's over 6 foot.
Just to explain that really quick before we move on, George in college used to, anytime he was trying to flirt with a girl, he'd try to go back to back with her. Just to get the physical contact going. Like, oh, I'm taller than you. I'm taller than you. Go. Let's go back to back.
He's trying to touch butts.
He worked. It worked.
Nobody loses in that.
Okay, because you guys called me out for not going to physicals, I do need to go to a doctor. I started going to a therapist, which has been great, but I need to get to an actual, physical doctor to work on my body, not just my mental. But I did notice lately that I just need to be more present. Like I really need to work on being present. And I think I need to learn from you two. You two seem like you've done a good job with it with your outdoorsy behaviors. Can you sell me on like what's a good entry level point to like getting outdoors?
What do you like about the
outdoor hobby
so far?
Only thing I do out there is go to work, run, and go to gas stations.
What don't you like about the outdoors?
Going to gas station is an outdoor activity.
I can work with that.
It's not all that different than bird hunting or watching birds. There's a lot of creatures out there in the gas stations. I do like when I run. I guess I do like that little hint of like chill in the air sometimes, like going through your nose. Like I do like that crisp thing. But yeah, I only reason I do it though is just because it's a way to run. Like I run on the treadmill.
What prevents you from getting outside? Like what?
I don't have any. Sorry. I don't find like hiking interesting or find like bird watching, for example, interesting. I just
not stimulating enough.
Yeah, I think that's why I need to practice my meditation because I would argue I have ADHD and I can't focus long enough to enjoy something like that. I would just be thinking about other things while I'm in the middle of beauty.
You need something that can be a distraction while you're outside. Like fishing is like you're doing a physical activity still.
Fishing I've enjoyed. I just need to learn to cook the fish because I just hate like
you also don't need to eat the fish. You could do catch.
What about like peeping Tom?
could be a lot. I can imagine that'd be a lot of fun. Very exhilarating. But extremely dangerous and could land you up in prison, which we don't want.
Maybe like,
but granted, you catch a fish and you take home an illegal fish. You're also looking at some legal troubles too. So who's to say?
Might as well peep. Yeah.
Both dangerous.
But I found the concept of bird watching very interesting because I've started looking at birds and just noticing their behaviors ever since I heard you guys were into it, and I think if I just started just casually crossing things off my list, I might find my way into being more interested in it. Like if I just started a checklist. Yeah.
Kevin, I think you think that I'm out there doing that all the time. I'm like, I'll notice birds and I'll be like, I don't think I've ever actually gone out and been like, I'm going looking for birds. I'm just very curious as to what bird is flying around and always want to know what they are. And then I get into it.
Okay.
So
I know I have a coworker that like goes to the thing in Toledo every year and like watches like the migration. So I know somebody who's really into it. I love asking them about it, but I just can't get into it myself. George, to answer your other question, I would say my favorite outdoor activity is like going to a park and reading.
Okay.
Like on a nice summer day.
Because like when I think about you and outdoors, like I think about like your like Target, like how you like wanted to run through Target in 5 minutes. Like
yes.
I feel like that's how I picture you hike. That's how I picture you hiking.
Yes.
Where it's like I think
I'm not present. If there's a mission, there's always
there's that Ferris Bueller quote you love, like life moves pretty fast. You'll stop and look around once in a while. You might miss it. I feel like that's you. Where I feel like when you're hiking, that's exactly what like you need to be doing. Or when you're out in nature, like you just need to take a minute once in a while and be like, we're on this hurling rock in this giant galaxy, and like we have all this diversity in life, and it's pretty fucking cool.
Ooh.
I mean, that answers my question, George. I mean, you haven't like given me a exact route to it yet, but like it is what I need in my life. I just need to be more present. I am constantly hatching and scheming, and it's really wearing on me. My mental health is out of control right now. So if you guys don't, if I don't get to a doctor and get outside soon, I need help.
It sounds like you're self-aware, and you're kudos to you for taking some of the right steps. We'll get out and do some nature in a month for sure.
Let's start with that frisbee golf, George. That'll be a great starting point for me.
That sounds like a great thing for you, Kevin.
Frisbee disc golf on this pod before. It hurts my feelings.
But no, it took me. I used to dog golf. Now golf I love, but it's just so damn expensive, and it's so damn hard.
Frisbee golf seems way cheaper. Kevin, my challenge for you is something that I feel like I want to try, but not really, because it's not really a thing. But you ever hear people grounding, where they walk with their shoes off and feel?
I tried that in my house.
I do that too. I haven't gone out in nature and did it. I'm like, man, that might be a game changer if you really focus on that. So,
okay, we have 10 minutes left or 5 minutes left, something like that, and I have 4 topics left.
2.
I can give you guys till 10:20. That's my hard stop.
Okay, George, you have to pick between these two: baseball spring training or Barstool After Dark. Give me a good minute on one of them.
Okay, I'm going to go with baseball spring training, but I'm not talking about our Cleveland Guardians or the Cincinnati Reds or the Mariners. I want to talk about the team that puts the fans in the stands.
Damn, I thought you were talking about the Yankees who recently lifted their policy on the shaving.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. That would have been smart to try to get in on some of your guys' fame. Oh.
And these Savannah pajamas, these are different than the bananas and pajamas. I take it.
I like this. I like the Savannah Bananas, George. I've never watched much of their stuff, but I've caught like a game on TV like for a second, and it is entertaining. And if you're a dad and you want to get your kids outside the house, I think that's a great activity.
Okay, could you please elaborate, because I have trouble wrapping my head around why high amateur baseball league that does a lot of dancing and ends in routine plays is getting 10x the price for Major League Baseball games.
It's the new Harlem Globetrotters. It's just fun. It's nonstop action.
I had that in my notes. They are.
It's a viral sensation. Everyone wants to be a part of it. Everyone wants to see the guy on stilts hit the home run while the other guy, the hot guy, dances and throws a strike.
It's the baseball for the TikTok generation. Baseball for the TikTok generation.
My other topic real quick, because it fits perfectly in this. Another thing which I just don't get, because like with Savannah Bananas, like it's 2 things that should intersect for me, like goofiness and baseball. I get why the algorithm feeds me. Like I should like it. Another thing I don't get why I wanted to talk about Barstool is because resident Barstool Dennis isn't here, and I feel like I need to fill his shoes a little bit. But another thing that I don't get is I've recently been tuning into the School After Dark, because I was never in the Barstool sphere all the way up until like 4 months ago. Ohio State has brought me into this sphere a little bit, and he's taken over this Barstool After Dark. And for Owen, I don't know if you know who Ohio State is, but he's basically like just this typical Cleveland Ohio State asshole fan that Barstool hired. And it kind of reminds me of like our friends that none of us are really like, but like we love them, and so he's like one of ours. So I've adopted this guy as like one of ours. So I am a fan of his. I'll admit it. But he's annoying and like not a lot of redeemable qualities.
Yeah, he would be like one of your asshole friends in Cleveland, just overconfident, loves his Browns, Ohio State. And I will say it's nice to have our perspective in that Barstool universe because it's mostly like Boston fans and Chicago fans.
Exactly.
And like, it's nice to have a more humble perspective.
And I think that's what's bridged the gap into me entering the sphere. So anyways, he's taken over this thing called School After Dark. And they do like an impossible task on a live stream on Tuesdays. Yesterday, their task was they want to do like a Batman triathlon where they ate 112 wings, 26 orders of fries, and 26 Coca-Colas between 3 people. As part of this, they got 2 Barstool employees, female employees, to act as Hooter girls. And here's the thing. Here's my point. There's these crossovers, which I get that like cool girls who like know about sports intersecting with like hot girls should be something that I like. But I really don't like it because I feel like it's these hot girls who are kind of like code switching between being, I'm going to be a hot girl and then I'm going to appropriate bro culture. And it just really makes me upset. And that's my TED Talk. Sorry.
No, I get it, George. It's
Don't you dare hit me with it. That's my TED Talk.
George, are you caught up on Southern Charm?
That's on my hate list.
Yeah, that's why I said it because I hated when Shep said it so much.
Shep used it on Southern Charm and it was so cringy. But George, it's these girls and guys trying to have their cake. You need it too. You can't be like super hot and like sports. Like it's one or the other. You can't be best of both worlds. Get the fuck out of here.
That's a clip.
No.
That is a fucking clip. That is going to get a lot of hate. You got no hair. These guys they don't even dress good.
Those Barstool chicks are too hot.
Let's finish up strong. Let's finish up strong. Oh, do you want to talk about how much do you want for a plane crash or your check-in with Justin Bieber?
I don't need to if there's better topics.
There's nothing better. We're done.
Okay. Have you seen recently Justin Bieber? Have you seen him? He's on drugs.
Is he again? Because he's like famously sober.
Yeah, since 2014, they say. Ever since the Diddy thing, he's been slowly crashing. He just recently had a kid though, and like, all right, this is allegedly he's on drugs.
Wait, Haley Bieber had a kid.
He just had a kid. And there's a video of Bieber wearing this white little snow cap with these like tiny glasses, really big pants, really big shoes, and he's like going like kind of smiling big with his teeth and like touching his pants weird.
Oh my god, I'm seeing pictures. Holy shit.
And I'm like, oh my god, that's drugs. That's MDMA or he's on coke. He's on an up stimulant for sure. Or not for sure. It seems like he is. And then his lawyer came out and they're like his publicist and they're like, this is awful that people are saying that. He's in like an extremely great place in life, just a lot of transitions going on, becoming a new dad. He's cut out people from people out of his professional life, which is probably Diddy. And he's not looking good.
Yeah,
There's other pictures of him where he's like,
what are you supposed to do when you get offered great coke?
Yeah, you should see it. But then there was one comment, or there's a video that someone was doing a commentary on it, and they said that's not Justin Bieber, that's Bobby from Goofy movie. It's the guy that says the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Chisa, yeah. And it looked just like him, and it really cracked me up.
Okay, well, and that'll make a great clip because I hadn't seen any of those pictures, and he looks awful. But I can't end the night without knowing, what do you mean? How much do you want for a plane crash? What does that?
How much money?
Great topic.
Like how much money?
Like if I was
30,000 is not enough money.
No,
those people in the plane crash are getting offered $30,000, no strings attached, when they almost fucking died.
What's your number?
So the question is, how much would I want if I was in a plane crash and there was like some kind of settlement?
Yes,
I would guess like $2 to $3 million at least.
I mean, that's what I'd be asking for, but I think they'll settle around the $400,000 range. That's my guess.
Dude, I am going this free flights for life.
Yeah, but you'd be traumatized. You'd never fly.
Yeah, but free flights for life.
Like losing control of your driveway in your car. That wasn't a big deal.
That is not
like a little slide into the garage.
When you land upside down in your garage.
Bro, just like that one time we were driving to Columbus over in Brunswick, and I hit the gas too hard on a snowy day, or the brake too hard on a snowy day, and I clipped my mirror off the side of the car.
Same thing. And they clipped their wings.
But the best part of that story is though the guy didn't stick around to get my insurance because he was clearly like drunk because it was New Year's Eve.
That's cool.
I got off scot-free. I fucked up his car.
That's incredible. But my number is free flights for life. They're paying for all my mental stuff that I have, PTSD that I have to go through, and then $5 million.
Wait, well, I also want endless snacks. Biscoff cookies.
Oh yeah, buzz balls. Dude, I want all the buzz balls on the flight.
Throw it in there. You almost died on a plane crash. That's crazy.
Yeah, $30 million was such a lowball offer, but I don't think
30,000
or 30,000. I just don't think they're gonna get millions because I hate to say it, but
I think they will. I think it's a plane crash. They lived. That's why it was not a big deal.
They were on the ground
they lived.
When they crashed.
You just got the lottery. Minimum, you get $1 million and free flights for life. Minimum.
I get it. I'm asking for way more too. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying
you're settling for 400,000.
No, that's what I think they're gonna end up getting is like 400 grand.
Okay. I think most of them are going to get paid out over $1 million or more.
Okay, what of these two options, what would you rather have if they all your other stuff they were to throw in a bonus? Would you A, want them to name a plane after you? Or B, want them to name a flight after you? From now on, Cleveland to Boston is now the Owen.
Oh, the flight.
Oh shit. Yeah, because you know if
from now on, if anybody ever flies Cleveland to Boston, now the Owen.
That's good.